Visualize yourself waking up each morning with legs that are strong, stable, and brimming with energy. Those are the top 7 vitamins for strengthening your legs. Rest assured, muscular weakness, agonizing cramping, and the constant fear of falling are things of the past. Proper nutrition is the key to maintaining an active, independent, and self-assured lifestyle. And now we're going to show you the 7 most effective minerals and vitamins that will help you maintain strong, unbeatable legs. A daily difference in mobility and well-being can be yours with the help of these vital nutrients, which enhance muscular performance, safeguard bone density, and improve circulation. This is the perfect film for you if you enjoy dancing, taking leisurely walks in parks, or just being on your own. I would be delighted to know where you are joining me today before we begin. Please feel free to ask any questions or leave a remark below. Make sure you never miss a health tip from Senior Health by subscribing and enabling notifications. Let us work together to create a better, more resilient future. Vitamin D is the first nutrient we should discuss because, of course, our bodies alter as we get older. Deterioration causes a loss of bone density and muscle mass, which in turn makes it harder to do things that were formerly easy. Not only does it cause brittle bones, but a lack of vitamin D is one of the most ignored causes of this decline. The proper functioning, balance, and strength of the legs depend critically on this vitamin. Let's take a closer look at why vitamin D is crucial for older adults' leg strength, and how getting enough of it can improve their mobility and general health. Getting enough vitamin D from sunlight gets harder for older skin. The situation is exacerbated since many elderly people avoid being outside as much as they used to because of changes in their lifestyle, inability to walk as easily, or fear of skin damage. What is the outcome? A systemic weakness that gradually weakens the muscles and makes the legs shaky. Muscle weakness and an increased risk of falls in the elderly are directly associated with low levels of vitamin D, according to repeated studies. Vitamin D helps prevent accidents and fractures by strengthening muscle fibers, improving coordination, and enhancing balance, according to a study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. On the flip side, individuals suffering from a deficiency encountered a heightened rate of muscular atrophy, which rendered even the most fundamental tasks, such as ascending stairs or rising from a chair, more difficult. While proper calcium absorption and bone health are essential, vitamin D's benefits extend beyond those areas. This supervitamin boosts neuromuscular transmission and protein synthesis, 2 processes that have direct effects on muscle performance. Imagine it as a way to keep your leg muscles going strong. Without it, they have a hard time giving their best performance. Vitamin D is essential for the maintenance of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are involved in balance and rapid reflexes, according to research. By enabling the legs to react quickly when balance is impaired, these fibers aid in the prevention of falls. A decrease in these muscle fibers' health, brought on by an inadequate vitamin D diet, increases the likelihood of injury, weakens muscular contractions, and slows reaction times. Many elderly people suffer from persistent leg pain and stiffness. However, research has shown that vitamin D can help by reducing inflammation in muscle tissues. Optimizing vitamin D levels can provide considerable comfort for those who have leg cramps, stiffness, or inexplicable pain on a regular basis. This may come as a surprise to some. Disregarding vitamin D insufficiency can lead to several severe health complications, not limited to weakened legs. The scariest? Fractures and osteoporosis. Fragile bones are more likely to break if there isn't enough vitamin D in the body to absorb calcium. The ability to move around and be self-reliant could be severely impaired if even a small fall resulted in a broken bone. A lack of vitamin D is associated with impaired immunity, cognitive loss, and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease in addition to skeletal and muscular problems. Elderly people who don't get enough vitamin D may have weak legs and an increased risk of chronic diseases, both of which lower quality of life. Is there a way to fix this? Optimal vitamin D levels are simple to achieve and can have profound effects on one's health and well-being. If you want strong, stable legs and more vitamin D, here are the best ways to do it. Being out in the sun. You can get a natural boost by spending 15 to 30 minutes in direct sunlight, ideally in the morning or late afternoon. To get the most out of it, expose your arms and legs. However, use caution while applying sunscreen, since it inhibits the body's natural production of vitamin D. Vitamin D-rich foods. While it may not be possible to fulfill daily needs only through food, including fatty fish, mackerel, sardines, fortified dairy, egg yolks, and mushrooms can help. Nutritional supplements. A vitamin D supplement is crucial for many elderly people, particularly those who do not spend much time outside. While higher dosages may be necessary for individuals with severe deficiencies under medical care, the majority of experts recommend 800 to 1,000 IU per day for optimal bone and muscular function. An easy blood test can clear up any confusion regarding vitamin D levels. Vitamin D deficiency is now commonly tested for in elderly patients because of the importance of this nutrient in reducing the risk of fractures and falls. Mineral calcium. Bone remodeling is still ongoing in younger people, but as they age, their bone mass gradually decreases, leaving them more prone to fractures. The legs are especially vulnerable to this. The most common and devastating types of injuries seen by the elderly include hip and femur fractures, as well as stress fractures of the lower extremities. When bones don't have enough calcium, even a little fall that wouldn't hurt when you're younger might cause months of healing time, or even chronic mobility issues. However, calcium is essential for more than just strong bones. Muscle contraction also relies on it. The intricate relationship between calcium ions and muscle fibers is fundamental to every motion, from walking to getting up from a chair. Calcium ensures regulated movement by acting as a trigger for muscle contraction. Inadequate calcium intake can cause muscular cramps, weakness, or inability to produce the force necessary for stability. This is why a lack of calcium causes many people to have weak muscles, slow motion, and frequent cramping in their legs. Thus, how can one make sure their bodies are receiving adequate calcium? Milk, yogurt, and cheese are among the best sources, but they're far from the only ones. You can also get a lot of calcium in foods like sardines, almonds, bok choy, kale, leafy greens, tofu, and fortified plant-based milks. One must have variety. For optimal bone maintenance and constant absorption, it's best to include a variety of calcium-rich foods in your diet. Those who have trouble absorbing calcium or who have food limitations may find that the amount of calcium they get from food alone is insufficient. Supplemental calcium, especially when coupled with vitamin D, which increases the body's ability to absorb calcium, can be helpful in this regard. Nevertheless, there are cases where more isn't necessarily better. Although calcium is necessary, too much of it, especially in supplement form, can cause problems with the digestive system, kidney stones, and arterial deposits. Finding the sweet spot is essential. The ideal daily intake of calcium for older persons is 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams, which can be obtained through a mix of natural foods and, if needed, supplements. In addition to consumption, physical activity is a critical component in the absorption of calcium. Walking, resistance training, and even mild running are all examples of weight-bearing workouts that promote bone remodeling and aid in directing calcium to the areas of the body that need it the most: the muscles and bones. No amount of calcium can fortify the bones and joints if you don't walk about. Calcium deficiency weakens more than just bones. It takes away people's freedom of movement, participation in things they enjoy, and autonomy. A life of independence, steadiness, and self-assurance starts with calcium-supported bones and muscles. 3. Despite the prevalence of discussions about protein and calcium when it comes to leg strength, few people understand the critical role that vitamin B12 plays in neuromuscular function. The proper functioning of the nervous system depends on it, as it maintains the strength and accuracy of the electrical impulses that go down your spinal cord and into your legs. Muscle weakening, instability, and a gradual loss of control over movement might result from improper signaling in its absence. Legs that feel heavy and exhausted, often with numbness or tingling, are among the most prevalent symptoms of a B12 shortage, which should come as no surprise. But the issue is this: among the elderly, vitamin B12 deficiency is surprisingly prevalent. Because of its reliance on intestinal health, vitamin B12 absorption is more delicate than that of other vitamins, which can be stored in fat or absorbed from a broad variety of foods. In order to absorb vitamin B12 from food, the body needs a certain protein known as intrinsic factor and enough stomach acid. Absorption can be further hindered by aging-related declines in stomach acid production, as well as by gastritis, acid reflux, and even long-term antacid use. A gradual but constant loss of this vital mineral occurs when you add in the reality that many elderly people eat diets low in foods rich in B12. Feeling weak is just one of many symptoms of B12 insufficiency. Irreversible nerve damage affecting reflexes, balance, and coordination can result from untreated B12 deficiency. The neurological repercussions of a B12 deficiency manifest in many elderly people who experience problems walking, falling down often, or simply feeling like their legs don't work as well as they once did. The deterioration is usually so subtle that people just accept it as a natural aspect of getting older, even though it is completely avoidable in actuality. Restoring B12 levels can significantly affect energy and movement, which is great news. When seniors address their weakness, research shows that their strength, endurance, and leg function all improve significantly. However, what is the source of this vital vitamin? Vitamin B12, in contrast to many other nutrients, is virtually solely present in animal products and cannot be acquired from plants. Lean meats, seafood, eggs, dairy, and shellfish, especially clams and liver, are excellent sources. B12 pills, or B12 fortified foods such cereals and plant-based milk, are necessities for people who follow plant-based diets or have absorption issues. Guess what? Since an excess of vitamin B12 is eliminated in urine, it is considered one of the most safe supplemental vitamins. Taking higher dose B12 pills or getting injections on a regular basis might help many older folks, particularly those who have trouble absorbing it from diet alone. Optimal levels can be maintained, and the slow loss of leg function that commonly comes with a deficiency can be prevented with regular monitoring through blood testing. However, the most important thing to remember is as follows. Having strong legs is about more than it appears. Efficiency, reaction time, and coordination are the topics at hand in the neurological system. Your legs won't react properly to workout unless your nerves are firing properly. Thus, one of the most underappreciated but potent tactics for retaining mobility and quality of life as one ages is to maintain sufficient B12 levels. 4. The mineral magnesium. In the background, magnesium facilitates the smooth contraction and relaxation of your muscles with each stride you take. It supports endurance, reduces tiredness, and prevents spasms by acting as the master regulator of muscular activity. Leg cramps and restless leg syndrome are among the most prevalent yet underdiagnosed signs of magnesium insufficiency. Nighttime cramps, which affect a lot of elderly people, make it hard to get back to sleep and get up and about in the morning. This is more than simply an annoyance. It means your body is having trouble controlling how much you relax your muscles. Those who suffer from muscular tension or involuntary contractions must take magnesium because it helps calm hyperactive nerve signals and prevents muscles from unexpectedly stiffening up. However, muscles aren't magnesium's only function. Bone density and healthy joints also depend on it. When it comes to bone health, calcium is usually the star, but magnesium is essential for calcium to work properly. This mineral is important because it controls the transit of calcium, making sure it goes into bones instead of soft tissues, where it could cause pain and stiffness in the joints. An integral part of general mobility, research has shown that older persons with increased magnesium intake have stronger bones and a lower incidence of fractures. Magnesium is quickly lost due to stress, medicine, and bad eating habits, which is a major reason why magnesium insufficiency is so prevalent. Diuretics, proton pump inhibitors, and several blood pressure medications are among the many treatments that reduce magnesium levels in the elderly. Magnesium deficiency, which stealthily erodes strength, endurance, and flexibility, is a common consequence of diets poor in magnesium-rich foods. This is why many elderly people notice a slow but steady decline in their stamina, resulting in shorter walks, slower stair climbing, and general exhaustion after even light exertion. Age isn't the only factor. Improper nutrition also plays a role in reducing performance. Magnesium replenishment has a rapid impact on leg health, alleviating cramps, boosting energy, and re-establishing a feeling of comfort of movement. Magnesium is best consumed through foods such as legumes, nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. Magnesium is an essential mineral for strong muscles and bones. Foods high in magnesium include avocados, almonds, pumpkin seeds, spinach, black beans, and almonds. Magnesium supplements, particularly the more easily absorbed magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate, can be helpful for people who do not obtain enough magnesium from food alone. When magnesium levels are restored, a stunning shift takes place. When seniors get up and move around, their legs react with more vitality, even though they were previously weak and heavy. Muscle cramp and stiffness sufferers report feeling better after using it, which in turn improves their sleep and mobility. The neuromuscular connections that control steady movement are regulated by magnesium, which improves balance and coordination. 5th, cauliflower leaf. Just picture yourself getting out of bed first thing in the morning and instantly experiencing a leg cramp. Does this ring a bell? Low potassium levels can cause a variety of symptoms, the most frequent of which is muscle cramps. Reason being, potassium maintains a healthy balance of intracellular and extracellular fluids, making it an essential regulator of muscle activity. Leg cramps and other painful muscular contractions can occur when potassium levels are too low. In addition to being an irritation, severe cramps can be crippling for older persons who may already have diminished circulation or muscle mass. However, that is only the tip of the iceberg. After standing for a long time, have you ever felt your legs quiver? Or perhaps you've experienced a stiffness that makes walking difficult. Potassium facilitates regulated movement by mediating impulses sent from neurons to muscles. Low levels make it harder for your brain to send signals to your leg muscles, which might make you feel weak, shaky, or have trouble elevating your feet correctly, all of which increase the likelihood that you will fall. And let's face it, preventing falls is of the utmost importance for elders. Unexpectedly, potassium is essential for strong bones as much as it is for strong muscles. It aids in neutralizing acidic substances in the body, which can gradually reduce bone density. Research indicates that a diet high in potassium can mitigate bone loss, which in turn lowers the incidence of osteoporosis and maintains structural strength in the legs. Potassium isn't only important for muscular function, it also plays a role in maintaining joint health in the legs. The major concern now is how to guarantee adequate potassium intake to sustain your legs. Nature has blessed us with a plethora of tasty foods that are high in potassium. You might think of bananas first, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. You may get a lot of potassium from foods like avocados, spinach, beans, oranges, and sweet potatoes. You can get more potassium from a baked potato, skin on or not, than from a banana. For steady sustenance of your muscles and bones, it's important to include a range of these items in your diet every day. Supplements may appear like a simple solution for people who have trouble getting enough potassium from food alone. So, what is the actual potassium requirement? For adults, the suggested daily allowance is 3,400 milligrams for males and 2,600 milligrams for women. A balanced diet high in beans, fruits, and vegetables can usually provide this amount. Those who have kidney illness, high blood pressure, or any other ailment that affects potassium levels should consult a doctor to find out the proper dosage for them. 6. Vitamin K. Calcium and vitamin D are usually the ones that come to mind when discussing the importance of vitamins for strong bones. However, these nutrients will not be effective unless vitamin K is present. Rather, from building up in arteries or soft tissues, where it can cause stiffness, poor circulation, and cardiovascular disease, calcium deposits in bones, where they belong thanks to vitamin K. Vitamin K maintains healthy, mobile legs by directing calcium to their proper locations, like a traffic controller. This is especially important for the elderly. Bone health, fracture risk, and general bone strength are all improved in people who consume more vitamin K, according to studies. That's because vitamin K makes bones stronger and denser by activating osteocalcin, a protein that attaches calcium to the bone matrix. Yet, that is not the end of vitamin K's function. Maintaining healthy joints and strong muscles also need this vitamin. The importance of strong bones, supple joints, and good muscles in maintaining healthy legs is often disregarded. Research has demonstrated that vitamin K helps alleviate knee stiffness, a common complaint among older persons, and reduce inflammation in the joints. This, in turn, can slow down the course of osteoarthritis. If you experience knee pain or stiffness when you stand up from a chair for long periods of time, vitamin K could be the supplement you need to alleviate your discomfort and maintain your mobility. A lack of strength in the leg muscles is associated with an increased risk of falling, poor balance, and trouble walking. Vitamin K may aid in maintaining muscular strength and coordination, according to new studies. This is especially true for older persons. It achieves this by controlling intracellular calcium levels, which in turn ensures appropriate contractions and forestalls the kind of clumsy motions that can cause instability. Vitamin K1, the most prevalent form in plants, is abundant in spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and Brussels sprouts, among other leafy greens. Vitamin K2, on the other hand, is present in a more potent form in fermented foods such as natto, fermented soybeans, aged cheeses, and even some animal products like liver and egg yolks. Because of its extended half-life and enhanced ability to channel calcium into bones from arteries, K2 is a very useful mineral. The greatest way to naturally raise your vitamin K levels is to eat more fermented foods and leafy greens. It only takes 1 serving of kale per day in a smoothie or 1 serving of sautéed spinach as a side dish to significantly improve your health. Supplementation, however, may be an option for people whose digestive systems aren't working properly or who are taking long-term antibiotics and thus have trouble absorbing vitamin K from food. However, exercise cautious. Vitamin K is involved in blood clotting and can interfere with blood-thinning drugs like warfarin, so it's important to talk to your doctor before taking more of this vitamin. 7. Most people don't realize how important vitamin B6, whose scientific name is pyridoxine, is for maintaining strong legs and healthy muscles. Although numerous nutrients aid in movement, vitamin B6 is particularly important for the proper functioning of nerves, the healing of muscles, and the efficient utilization of protein for the development and maintenance of muscular mass. Even the strongest muscles can atrophy without it, making even the simplest of motions, like getting out of a chair or going upstairs, feel like an uphill battle. The role that vitamin B6 plays in nerve communication and coordination is one of its lesser-known but crucial functions. A lack of B6 can cause these impulses to slow down or be misdirected, which can cause tingling, numbness, and even shaky gait. A lack of nutrients necessary to sustain appropriate neuromuscular function is the underlying cause of these symptoms, which many elderly people mistake for aging-related muscle atrophy. Preventing inflammation-related muscular tiredness is another important role that vitamin B6 plays. Reduced muscle pain and maintained flexibility and resilience are benefits of vitamin B6, which aids in the regulation of the body's inflammatory responses. A possible game-changer could be boosting your vitamin B6 consumption if you've been dealing with persistent stiffness or sluggish recovery after exertion. In addition to its role in skeletal muscle, vitamin B6 is essential for the synthesis of red blood cells. Muscles are fueled and maintained with the endurance required for prolonged activity by these cells' ability to carry oxygen throughout the body. If your hemoglobin levels are low due to a B6 deficiency, your muscles may not get enough oxygen, which can lead to early weariness, heavy feelings, and decreased stamina. Experiencing excessive fatigue even after brief periods of modest activity may be your body's method of requesting additional vitamin B6. How is this vital vitamin produced? B6 is fortunately abundant in many tasty and easily accessible foods. Great sources include chicken, fish, especially salmon and tuna, bananas, potatoes, chickpeas, and fortified grains. Your neurological function and muscle strength can be supported by naturally replenishing your B6 levels, which can be achieved by include these items in your daily meals. To attain optimal levels, B6 supplementation may be required for persons with gastrointestinal problems, impaired nutritional absorption, or food restrictions. Older persons usually require about 1.5 milligrams of vitamin B6 daily for women and 1.7 milligrams of vitamin B6 daily for men, However, this does vary by age and gender. While getting enough B6 from dietary sources is usually safe, long-term misuse of high-dose pills can cause nerve damage, so it's important to be careful. The most effective tactic is to prioritize a well-rounded diet that is abundant in B6 sources, guaranteeing a consistent supply without needless dangers. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was useful. As a result, we are able to provide you with better content. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future topics, please share them with us in the space provided below. Thank you for contacting us. If you would like to receive our most recent health advice and insights in your inbox, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications. Until our next video, keep well, stay informed.